are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. Can I go ahead and get you to confirm your name and date of birth for me?
Jordan Friedman, 9/24/1993.
Excellent. So my name is Celeste Johns. I'm an occupational therapy student here at the University of St. Augustine. Before we go ahead and begin with today's session, would you mind reviewing and signing this consent and release agreement form for me?
Of course.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, so I understand that you're here today due to your diagnosis of COPD, which is, as we know, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, and this can cause a lot of, it can be very difficult to breathe at times. You may feel fatigued easily. You may have shortness of breath, cough, or even wheezing. Oftentimes it'll happen whenever doing, strenuous activities, exercise, and it can even happen at rest. So kind of some precautions that I want to go over today before we get started, and things to just kind of keep in mind would be you would want to avoid any sorts of heavy lifting or strenuous household chores. That can be mowing, even raking the leaves, and it can also be even scrubbing if you're cleaning the floors or the counters, sinks, whatever that may be. So another thing is I would recommend talking to your doctor if you do end up having any questions about certain things you may or may not be recommended to do. Exercising is great, but I would avoid things like sit-ups or push-ups that can often make it much more difficult to breathe. I would recommend things, aerobic exercises like walking. And if you like walking outside, I would make sure that the weather is good. I would make sure that it's not, not too hot, not too cold either. And then finally, don't be afraid to, take rests or take breaks to catch your breath. That's totally fine. So overall today, I would kind of just like to focus on some energy conservation, breathing techniques, and task simplification techniques. Does that sound like something you would be up for today?
Of course.
Okay. So kind of what those are going to involve is, you always want to make sure you schedule out your rest breaks into your day so that way you can account for them, make sure you get plenty of rest, and also so you don't feel rushed. So another thing is sitting whenever possible to avoid standing for long periods of time, bending over for long periods of time. So whenever we do lower body dressing like we're going to be doing today, I would recommend sitting down to put on shoes, socks, even pants, and things like that. So, and I would also recommend having all of your supplies and things that you need for whatever activity easily accessible to you. That way you don't have to get up and make multiple trips and things like that. And finally, we're going to go over some breathing techniques. So during our activity today, we're going to pause for a rest break, and I will go ahead and begin to explain those breathing techniques to you, okay? First things first, so we want to always pick out our outfit if we can the night before, just so that way we don't have to spend that time, standing in front of the closet or bending over looking in dresser drawers or anything like that. And then, like I said, it would be nice to have your entire outfit, near the chair that you're going to get ready at in the morning or the edge of your bed or, anything like that. So during this activity, if anytime you feel out of breath, go ahead, we'll take a rest break. And, like I said, make sure you have plenty of time for the rest breaks in the morning, just so that way we don't feel rushed and things like that. So we're going to go ahead and begin, and we're going to be doing lower body dressing. So what I'm going to have you do first is I'll have you watch, and then I'll have you do it, okay? So, instead of, ever, bending over to put your sock on, put your shoe on, I'm going to have you do this. So I'm going to have you put your foot up on your knee, kind of like this, and then put our sock on this way. That way we don't have to, like I said, bend over. And then after that, it's going to be the same way with the shoe. So go ahead. Good. Good. You feeling okay?
I feel okay right now.
Yeah, okay, that's good. Okay, then we can go ahead and do the other sock if you'd like. So same exact
Same
thing.
way.
Foot up on the knee. Good. Sounds a little difficult. Are you still doing okay?
Might need a break after this.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So now we're gonna go ahead and do our break, and we're gonna go over those breathing techniques. Okay. So for the breathing technique, what I'm gonna have you do is make sure your shoulders are relaxed and your neck is relaxed, and we're going to inhale slowly through our nostrils for 2 seconds. Okay. And then deep breath. We don't need to do a deep breath. A normal breath should be fine. Okay. And then afterwards we're going to exhale through our mouth for 4 seconds, but what we're going to do is you're going to make sure to have your lips pursed to kind of give a little bit of pressure to get out, okay? So if you want to watch me first, and then you can do it yourself, so we'll go. Okay, give it a try. Okay, good. So next time, what I'm going to have you do is make sure to keep your mouth closed while breathing in. Just to kind of ensure that it is going through your nose. And then finally, like I said, whenever breathing out, we want to make sure we have those pursed lips to get a little bit of pressure going, okay? So in through the nose, out through the mouth. Good. Awesome. How are you feeling? Do you feel okay?
Oh, well, why is that better than other breathing techniques?
So kind of some of the benefits to this breathing technique is that it tends to ease your breathing. It's going to prolong exhalation, which basically means just slowing the breathing rate down. It can improve breathing patterns, and it should relieve, your shortness of breath and even facilitate and promote relaxation. So how are we feeling?
I feel good now.
You feel good? You feel okay? All right, so for the next step that we're going to do the exact same thing, but now we're going to put on our shoe. And I would also recommend shoes that are easily able to slip on versus shoes that you have to tie or anything like that. It can be a lot easier and not take near as much time or much effort as shoes that tie. So we'll go ahead and prop that foot back up. We'll put our shoe on. Good. Nice. Good job. Awesome. How are we feeling? We feel okay? Good. Okay. And then so for pants, what I would like you to do. I'm kind of just going to go over it and explain it since we only had time to do this today. But kind of the same thing. We'll just lift the leg up, put pant leg in. We can put it back down. Get the other pant leg in, down, pull up. And then if you need to take a break at that point, you're resting, your breathing techniques. I want you to kind of go over this maybe 4 to 5 times a week just so you get kind of used to it and it becomes almost, second nature, just something that it feels a lot more natural to do. And then, of course, you would, stand up, pull pants up, and you can sit back down and finish, buckling and things like that. So what I want to discuss is kind of some ways to challenge yourself or even ways to kind of draw back and make it a little bit easier if you notice it does start to get pretty difficult. So if this becomes too easy for you, one way to make it harder would be, completing more steps. So this time we just had enough energy to put on both socks. And then we needed a rest break. So if that's way too easy for you, obviously, go ahead and continue the sequence and continue, putting on your shoes or your pants or, anything like that. You can even progress to wearing pants that require more effort, like ones with zippers, buttons. If you wear a belt, that's also something that, can challenge you. So what I want to talk about is now if it gets too difficult, I would recommend, things like dressing aids. They can be really useful, or even a sock aid, shoehorn, or even a reacher in case, like we talked about, if you don't have everything next to you, it'd be a lot easier to have your reacher easily reach over, get what you need to, come back without having to get up and, take extra time and use more energy to get up and get something. So that's all we have for today. Did you have any questions for me?
I don't.
No? Okay, awesome. Well, I look forward to talking to you again.
Thank you.
Mhm.